Hey guys, this is Slifer Maniac, and I'm dropping today my Bandit Keith Battle City deck profile. First of all, Bandit Keith was in this arc drawn as a servant for Merrick, under Merrick's control during his Millennium decoration. He worked through magic and also put some cards in his deck which he hadn't in the Duelist Kingdom saga, so it was a little bit overpowered in comparison to before. And now what can we say about Bandit Keith? Bandit Keith was a character which had quite a reputation in the past, being a thief and not playing currently and fairly during his duels, which had wanted to have his revenge on Pegasus in the Duelist Kingdom arc because he embarrassed him in front of the public. In terms of, I think, regional tournament, or maybe even a world tournament, and so as a result of that he rised up above the ranks in the Duelist Kingdom, and took his invitation to misused his invitation to rise up the ranks and to eventually confront Pegasus in a final duel, but he didn't succeed. He lost his, I think, quarterfinal against Joey Wheeler and tried to cheat all above that, so he was disqualified for many reasons. Yeah, and then he was thrown from the island and landed in the water, where Merrick and his companions found him on the boat and took over his mind due to his magic of the Millennium stick. So first on to his monsters. He had, of course, Barrel Dragon, which was one of his boss monsters that he also played in the Duelist Kingdom. Then Metal Zoa. He also had played out Zoa, but I don't have this card on me yet, so yeah, we just might think about it that he has this card in his deck. Then Slot Machine, one of his also significant cards, which he used in combination with the spell card, which I will also talk about later. It's called 7 Complete, which increases the attack power of a machine monster. Then Launch Spider, that was one of his main boss monsters as well. As a matter of fact, he had basically very strong monsters in his deck, but due to the tribute system which existed in the Battle City era, he would not quite have gone well with his strategy. As in the Duelist Kingdom era, he could summon those monsters just without tributing them, but he had just almost quite a bit an amount of monsters that had 5, 6, or even more stars, which makes out, I think, about 1/3 of his deck. So I put several cards in it, which he could have been succeeded in the Battle City era as well. Now, Machine King, one of his boss monsters as well. And then, and I'm going to prove my point, Searu. There was a new card, a dragon card. He had many machine type monsters in his deck and support cards in terms of magic and trap to his machine deck. It was quite unusual for him. It was probably put in his deck by Marek, as well as Zira, the Mant, which was a very rare and seldom card. And in the anime, so his deck was, like I already mentioned earlier, quite overpowered. So this about these monster cards. Then I will go on. Those were 7 monsters. Then he had Sword Slasher, Gigento, Pendulum Machine, Megasonic Eye, Ancient Machine, and Garnicia Elephantis, of course. Now these cards were mainly used during the Duelist Kingdom arc, but also in the Battle City arc, at least partly. These are all monsters which have quite few attack stats, about 1,700 each and fewer, but still require 1 tribute. So he would have had very difficulties to summon them. So yeah, I put quite amount of other cards as well, either monsters as well as magic and trap cards to support his strategy. Then Desperado Pistol Dragon and Blowback Dragon, as well as Diabolical Machine Omega. Now these cards he hadn't have especially, but I think they might fit very good in his deck as well, as they were machine type monsters. And the Desperado Barrel Dragon, of course, because it's a more developed form of the Barrel Dragon. So now if you think about it, it's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, and if I put Zoa as well in the card deck, 17, and I also forgot about the machine, not Machine King, it was called another one, and also another tribute monster. So it was 18 tribute monsters, and of course, to have to balance this deck out, I have put in there, besides his other monsters which he could just summon without a tribute, like Machine King Prototype. I'm not sure whether he had it, but if he hadn't had it, I put it also in there. BM4 Launch Spider. As he had Launch Spider, I thought it would be very logical that he would have had this card as well. Then Docker Mobile Cannon, all machine type monsters, of course. Twin Dragon, I think 2 or 3 times I put in there. No, two times. Then I also put in there, which I'm sure that he hadn't had, Helping Robo for Combat. and Kybernetic Cyclop, which is not a machine type monster, but it looks like it, and Absorbing Jar. So these 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 monsters which require no tribute I put in there. Now onto his other normal and effect type monsters which require no tributes summon. He had Mechanical Hunter, Warrior from Zera, Geigetech Wolf, Ground Attacking Buckworth. In this Battle City era as well, he had Cyberjar, which is not a machine type monster, but still it's come in handy. Cannon Soldier, Blast Sphere, and last but not least, the I don't know how it's called in English. In German it's called haftender Sprengstoff, which is, I think it's blast explosion or something like that it is called in English. So these onto his monsters. It's a very big deck with many monsters, but yeah, as I said, he had many tribute monsters, so I put many normal monsters. Oh, normal and 4 stars and fewer monsters onto his deck to balance it out. Then onto his spells. In this era he had tribute to the Doomed, which Marek put in his deck, as well as the Zera ritual card. Then Curse of Fiend, also one of the cards that Marek put into his deck. Of course, 7 completed 3 times, which he had 3 times in his deck in the Glorious Kingdom era. Machine Morph, Factory, Limiter Removal, D-Spell, Graceful Charity, for his draw power, of course. Then these were cards which he had in his deck, and I put also, like I said already before, support cards to lighten up his tribute summons. Cost down, of course, which destroys 2 stars, so that his tribute monsters, most of them at least, can be normal summoned without a tribute. And then 2 times. Then Star Explosion, which works similar, but you have to pay life points, I think, for it. Just let me read it out. Yeah, you have to pay 500 life points per star. Degrade, or you can degrade 1 star per 500 life points, and then you can either pay maybe 1000 if you have 6 and you have a 4-star monster instead of 6, or if you pay 500 from a 5-star monster, then you can get in 4-star for 500 life points. Like I said, 500 life points for each star to degrade. 2 times as well. Then Ancient Rules 3 times. Well, this card has the ability to special summon a 5-star monster or above from the hand. Yeah, so it will fit also into his deck very well. Then I have, because of the artwork, Double or Nothing. This card has a slot machine art on it, so for this reason I put it also in there. You can have another attack with the monster. You can attack twice, I think, if I'm not sure. Yeah, if an attack was negated, you can attack another time. And then the attack of the monster is even doubled. It's a quick spell card, so you can also activate it during the step of the enemy, of the opponent. Then Hard Metal Plunder, which has also the slot machine, but also the Barrel Dragon, I think, and a couple of other machine type monsters like Launch Spider, Blast Sphere, and other ones on it. And I'm not sure about the effect, but it is a field spell card for machine dark machine type monsters. Then the Wave Motion Cannon, which reminds me a little bit of the slot machine as well, and it comes in handy to inflict severe damage on the opponent. Deck Blockade, I think that is a very practical card as well to negate the special summons of the opponent for one turn at least. Then Broke or Destroy Draw, it's like that if you have, I think, machine type monsters, you can draw cards. You have to equip it even to a machine type monster too, which if it is destroyed, you can pull one, draw one card. Yeah, it's like that. Then Iron Call, which is working with machine type monsters as well as a condition. So there were his spell cards. Then onto his trap cards. Trap cards, he had Time Machine. I put him 2 times in there because it's a very practical trap. Metal Morph, of course. There you go. Magic Jammer. Solomon Judgment. These were cards which he had in his deck, as a matter of fact. In his only battle, he just was present at one battle against Yugi, not against Yami Yugi, just against the normal Yugi. And I also put several other trap cards there as well. Security Orb, because there's a machine on it. Iron Scrap, which is very, very good trap card because you can use it as many times as you can. If you use it once, it doesn't come into the graveyard, it's set again. Then Proton Laser, which has Barrel Dragon on its front of its artwork. Malfunction, of course. If you speak of malfunction, it is always in relation to machine or techniques. Then, of course, Machine King, which also is the name of one of his machine type monsters, and it does special summon a machine type monster as well. Then Secure Blast, which works in that way. If you all zones and which this card is set are full, are complete. You can destroy them all, I think. Yeah. And of course, Cyber Summon Blaster, which works with machine type monsters. So that was his deck profile. I hope you guys enjoyed it, and stay tuned for more content. I will of course present another of the antagonists which were under Marik's control, like Rare Hunter, Arcana, the Magician, and the Loomis and Umbra, the twin brothers, as well as Odeon. And Ishizu will also be in place. I have her deck here. So yeah, I will go up now from the Marik's servants, strings of course as well, and then of course the other, not only the villains but also the other protagonists, which, for example, fought against Joey Wheeler, Revel Underwood, and Esperoba, and so on. Subscribe for more content, and hit the like and subscribe button, and then see you on the next time. Yourself a maniac. Bye.